Dr. Deb explains research project methodology. Hi, I'm Dr. Deb, and today I'm going to explain the first portion of your research project. As a brief review, remember that social and behavioral scientists study humans and their behaviors. Your project is designed to allow you to experience what it's actually like to be a social and behavioral scientist. Most social and behavioral scientists follow an IMRD structure when writing about their research. This structure explains why they did their research, purpose or rationale, how they did it, methodology, what they found, results, and what it means. Conclusion. We are going to begin our project by planning and conducting our methodology first. This will allow you to get started on your project and provide you with the time that you need to learn more from the course before writing your purpose and rationale. Let's begin with an overview of the methodology section. Again, this information comes from Peruganin and Hewitt's How to Read a Scientific Article paper. They describe the methods section as a part that tells the reader what experiments were done to answer the question. Most method sections do two things. They tell who the participants are in very generic terms and what the participants were asked to do. Let's look at Kim and Ra's research on what impacts success in college, findings from the perceptions of Korean students for an example. Their method section lists the participants in a subheading. Then they explain that 46 Korean students, juniors at Seoul National University, were selected and that all had a GPA above 4.0. They then explained why they established this criteria. Other researchers often include demographic data about their participants, such as age, gender, ethnicity, etc. Some are specific about the size and location of the institution, like Seoul National University, and others are very generic, like an institution or university or college system in Korea. Then, Kim and Ra have a subheading for the instrument and procedure used in the study. This is where they explain what the participants were asked to do. They list the questions each participant was asked and explain how the responses were analyzed. So to begin your project, you have to have a purpose for conducting the research and a research question that you want to be answered. For our project, you will be investigating how students can become successful academic performers in college. So your research question is just that. How do students become successful academic performers in college? Since this is what you're trying to figure out, you have to plan a research project that will allow you to answer this question. First, let's think about the participants. In order to see what it takes to be successful in college, you will need a group to interview or question. And since you want to find out how they were successful or what they did to be successful, you should probably choose people who've already graduated from college. Your instructor will tell you specifically how many people you need to interview or question for your project. If you're worried about finding college graduates, don't be. Almost everyone employed at the college is a college graduate, and almost everyone would be willing to help. Another part of this project is deciding what you want your participants to do. The easiest thing is to design a survey or questionnaire or a list of interview questions to ask your participants. Some advantages of the survey or questionnaire is that the participants can do it on their own time. But some disadvantages are that they may not answer the question fully, or they may not return the survey or questionnaire. Also, there's no real opportunity to ask follow-up questions. The interview allows the opportunity for follow-up questions or clarifying questions, but the researcher either needs to take really good notes or record the interview so that they can remember what was said. It also requires the interviewer and participant to have a common time where they can meet to conduct the interview. Finally, it's important to remember what you are trying to accomplish or what you want to know or learn from your research. The questions you ask your participants must allow you to answer the research question. Open-ended questions are generally better than closed-ended questions, those with yes or no answers, because you will get better data or information from your participants. And as simple as it seems, you can't just ask one question. What made you successful in college? These answers would be too broad, and it will be difficult for you to compile the data. So here's what you need to do for this assignment. First, begin creating a list of college graduates you could use as participants for your project. Again, your professor will give you the number you need. Next, create a survey or questionnaire or a list of interview questions to ask. Again, your instructor will provide you with the number of questions needed. Remember that each question should attempt to discover how students become successful academic performers in college. Here's a helpful hint when designing your questions. Our course has information regarding the theories, strategies, and principles that can be used to help students learn. Use these strategies, theories, and principles as a guide or in your questions. The Cusio and Others article in the additional readings list in Canvas has a checklist of principles students should use to be successful, and each theory and strategy is labeled in our textbook. Use these as ideas to craft your questions. Third, write your methods section, including information on your participants and what you asked them to do, survey, questionnaire, or interview, and when the research took place. You can use a season or a semester and the year. Write this portion of your paper in past tense as though you've already done it. 4. After creating your instrument, survey, questionnaire, or interview questions, contact your participants and ask them to participate in your research project. If they agree, collect any demographic data you would like to have: age, gender, ethnicity, degree achieved, GPA, number of years since graduation, etc. 5. Conduct your interviews and/or send the survey questionnaire. Make sure your participants have a deadline for returning their answers. You won't be able to do the next section if you don't have their responses. 6. Keep their responses or your notes for the next portion of the project. When you get finished with your data collection, you can modify or change your methods section based on what you actually did. You can also add in the demographic data that you collected from your participants. This has been a semi-brief introduction to the methodology section of a research project. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to your instructor for further clarification. Until next time, this has been Dr. Deb explaining methods in a research project.